By George, I think I've got it.
Hybrothetical Thinking.
I saw that Bigfoot walking across the screen and I thought to myself, wow, they are real.
I ask us all, is that really reasonable?
Hybrothetical Thinking.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
And show you a little of the evidence.
Hybrothetical Thinking.
Researchers at Stanford University School of Medicine have pioneered a cancer vaccine that eliminated all traces of cancer in mice.
You could find evidence of that, my friends. You could change the world.
Hybrothetical Thinking, a podcast for the hypothetical thinker.
Greetings, travelers. Welcome to Hybrothetical Thinking, a semi-forward podcast that explores the journey from probability all the way through Johnny's arm hair, sort of like Ant-Man, climbing up his little shoulders, tapping him, saying, "Hey, Johnny, how you doing, bud?" And then climbing into his eyeball,
all right,
swimming deep into the crevasse
don't
of his heart.
All right, brother.
The valves pump it further.
His cracked heart, his broken heart.
His broken heart, and it's pumping
Achy,
straight down
heart.
into his lower intestine.
All right.
And then right out his butthole.
Oh,
my name is
no.
Nick Floyd, and I'm joined by my very informative co-hosts.
I'm Taylor Nelson.
I am Jonathan Clark.
And the way this works is that either Taylor or myself will do the research for our weekly episodes, and Johnny goes into every episode completely blind. Very similar to a man who's lost his glasses on Black Friday.
All right. Or just say Velma. Just Velma also works, Yankees. I lost my glasses.
Could you imagine how shitty that would be if someone lost their glasses on Black Friday?
They're immediately stomped on. I mean, just like, boom, hit the ground. They are crushed into a zillion pieces.
You're dead. You're dead.
You're dead.
Goodbye, glasses.
Wait, the glasses or the person? Because I was talking about the person.
Oh, the person. Oh, dude, those horror stories when people hit the ground on Black Friday. Yeah, they go down. They come up hours later, tattered, torn. Go to the hospital and shit.
What year is it?
Have you ever shopped on Black Friday, Taylor?
Dude.
Rarely, dude.
Dude.
Rarely.
Boys. I worked at Kohl's and Best Buy
Both
during Black Friday. I can't separate the middle-aged mamas buying their kids clothes at Kohl's or the middle-aged dads trying to figure out iPods at Best Buy, but they're both horrible.
They're both warriors trying to get the deals.
Sucks. Dude, people would come in and just grab these like $1,000 TVs running around, and I'm like, you're going to break it, and I'm not going to help you.
Well, dude.
It's terrible.
Yeah, they have like those deals where they'll advertise this crazy deal on a TV where it's like $120 for an 80,000-inch TV. And it's amazing. But there's only 4, so the first 4 people to get in can get it. So it's like you got to fight to get to the front, ready to get in the door, and then you got to fight all the way back to the TV.
I feel
then
like that's the closest thing that we, as America, as a country, get to the purge.
Yeah.
For one day only.
Murder is legal. All crimes are legal.
There are 4 TVs in one store. All crimes are legal. The purge.
Welcome
Initiate.
to Purge.
That's crazy. Taylor, how are you doing today, bud?
Scare it. I'm doing pretty good. I got a full belly. I've been doing cool, fun shit all week. Look at me. I'm happy. How you guys been doing?
Look at me. I'm happy.
That's the most fake ass, like...
I'm having a great time, okay?
I'm doing really well.
Fine time. Good time. We're happy. We're fine.
Johnny, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing really good. We just lived on like 4 different platforms for Hybrothetical Thinking, and doing super good. I'm drinking coffee right now, and I'm from Death Wish, one of our sponsors, and I'm hyped as hell right now.
Dude,
No joke.
hyped.
Johnny's drinking Death Wish coffee in a Death Wish canteen,
yeah.
wearing Death Wish sunglasses and a Death Wish t-shirt. If this guy had pants, shoes, and a hat, he'd be all Death Wished out.
If they had tattoos out there, I would get full. I'm not even a skull guy, but like, I'm no person to be like plug. But if it's good, I'll fucking use it, and I fucking use it.
And listen, if the plug works, Johnny will use it.
I'll fill it if it plugs it up, man. Both gotta float. Both gotta float.
Hey.
All right.
Hey now. You don't have to ask me
Wait.
how I'm doing.
How are you?
Listen, it's been a weird week. It's been a weird week. Johnny and I, we were rearing and ready to go. We got back from New Jersey. We got back from Edison, New Jersey.
Yeah.
We're rearing ready to get
Edison.
wild on Monday.
Wild.
Wild.
we're getting wild. We're going to see. We got 2 tickets to the premiere, the exclusive premiere of a mystery movie called Slice, starring Chance the Rapper about pizza.
Was it starring him though?
Listen, I haven't gotten there yet. So Johnny and I go. We're real excited. We're pumped about it. We're like, yeah, we're gonna see this movie before everybody else. One night only like 10 cities with a live stream Q&A of the filmmakers right afterwards. We're ready to go. We get there hella early. We're ready.
Early enough to get food and chill the movie theater before like anyone shows up.
Listen, I've never spent. I spent a lot of time watching movies.
That's true.
But I have not spent an hour and 20 minutes trying to convince myself that what I'm watching is actually good.
Yeah, I can feel you being like, I want it to work. I want it to be good.
It was not a good movie.
Hey, it was not good. It was like
it's about pizza.
Project.
It's already got a head start.
The pizza part was pretty okay. I think the people who were in the pizza...
it wasn't even about pizza. It was about a pizza delivery service. It didn't even have to do with pizza. It could have been... The problem with bad movies with a good premise is that it makes them worse because you have something good, you're executing poorly.
Yeah. They just missed the mark.
You missed the mark. And the worst part about it, the biggest kick in the belly hole, the biggest kick.
Balls.
We leave that theater, okay? First of all, the live stream corrupts, and they can't even play it on the screen.
Yeah, so Nick's like, everybody in the theater, it's on Twitter. So everyone pulls their phones out on Twitter.
Yeah, so they live stream that shit on Twitter, and then, just wait for this. Your pickle's about to be tickled, Taylor. Just wait.
Tickle it.
I get home,
Ew,
okay? I drop Johnny off. His car's parked in my house. I get inside. I snuggle up. I'm real cozy. I snuggle up in bed.
I left,
not with Johnny.
I left by this time.
He left by this time. I snuggle up in bed. I open my phone up. What do I see? Available now on video on demand.
What?
Motherfucking Slice. You can rent it.
Oh, you got duped.
I got duped.
Drove all the way out. So now we did like 30 minutes.
We drove 50 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We spent $14 a ticket.
You got the popcorn. You got the drinks.
I did not buy water.
The best part about that is that Johnny walked to the counter and he's like, "Hi, can I just get?" Like I thought he was being a gentleman. He's like, "Hey, can I get 2 waters?" And then I was like, "Oh shit, Johnny's gonna buy me water. This is really
I'm an
nice."
asshole now.
And then the guy's like, "Oh, what size do you want? Do you want a regular size water or a large water?"
What's the difference?
And Johnny's like, "I mean, can I just get like a free cup of water? You got those small cups of water that are free?"
I was like,
like free 50.
Wait, I was like, what's the difference? He's like, oh, well, large is 30 cents more. I'm like, 30 cents more. What? And he's like, oh, wait, did you want a free water? I'm like, yes, sir. I want free water, the way water should be. I don't want Voss water. I don't want Dasani. Bro, I want out of the tap.
Listen, it was Aquafina,
I drink
okay?
only Evian, please, sir.
And I guess you're right. I would have bought it for you if I was gonna buy it, but I was like, nah, man. So you gave me this small ass cup. I had to sip that thing the whole movie, which I was. By the way, this is after I had a 6 a.m. flight back. I literally did not sleep.
Johnny
all day.
didn't sleep the entire day.
I had 48 hours
Slice.
of no sleep, and I was in Slice, not wanting to watch it. I was trying to stay awake, and the only thing that was keeping me up is that if I slept, Nick would have like pimp slapped me and woke me up and like,
wake up,
midway
Johnny.
through,
Wake up! But the craziest thing, and then I'll end the note, and I'm gonna dive into the news because I had some news today.
Dive on in.
But the worst part is the whole entire 50-minute drive to the theater in traffic. I'm just like, hey Johnny, it's gonna be really cool because I think when we get to the theater, they're gonna give us like, I don't know, like a little mini poster, or maybe
pizza.
they'll have
pizza, right? Yeah.
Maybe they'll give us those jackets for the movie because it's so exclusive. I don't know, man. Like,
cool
I don't know. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be this big
None
thing.
of that.
Dude, I've done celebrity screenings with Nick where we go and like review a movie that have been more pleasurable horror movies where I'm peeing myself than this fucking movie, dude.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
Is that bad?
it was not a good movie.
The best part was the janitor, dude.
The janitor was the good part.
He's like, am I dead? Ah!
Yeah.
Fuck!
It was bad. But the worst part is it was a travesty on it was an A24 film. And A24, they've done Spring Breakers, they've done The Witch, they've done Hereditary.
Yeah, the good shit, dude.
Moonlight. I'm very satisfied with A24, but A24, you fucked me on this one.
Yeah.
You turned me over and you fucked me.
Driving to the airport and Nick's like, A24 is a great place. And I'm like, I know the name. He's like, wait, you're a film guy and you don't know? He's like critiquing me on not knowing it, and then the movie sucked.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, back to basics, A24.
We're trying to validate it, but it just was not.
No validation. But you know what doesn't need validation? The news today.
Ooh,
All right.
okay.
I got some news, some real exciting news here. This is not just a piece of news. This is a very large step forward, not just for the world, but for us.
Us as in us 3 guys?
Us 3 guys.
Okay.
The Hybros.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
man, what are we talking?
This is from NewYorkPost.com. And the first paragraph reads as this. Nestled at the edge of the Blue Ridge Mountains, tiny Marion, North Carolina has a population of just over 7,800.
Okay.
People?
But it's the town's grand gesture that's making headlines. What could that gesture be? I don't know. It made me click the article. That's right. You guys don't know either. That's
It's
why
a
the
Bigfoot
sounds
safe
there.
zone.
Bigfoot.
Not only is it a Bigfoot safe zone, Taylor, but that small town of Marion, North Carolina has declared Bigfoot as its official animal.
Shut up.
What?
Tight.
It's a mythical creature, though.
Is it, John? It's not.
Johnny, get out of here, bro.
Get out of here, bro. Just
Bro,
get up and
get
walk
out
away.
of here, bro.
Get the fuck out of here.
Real
Get out of here,
okay,
bub.
fine. Headphones
Get
are
out
off.
of here. Just take a walk.
Oh, my goodness gracious, Johnny.
There he goes. He's walking out.
Finally, somebody takes the gracious Bigfoot and puts him as the a distinguished leader that he deserves to be. He's a leader in the environment.
You're telling me. And not only is this the official, see, Johnny's back.
I'm coming back. Wait,
He's back. Johnny's back.
Wait,
He's
wait,
Oh,
before
he's
you
back
say-
to show his
before-
respects, huh? To the great Bigfoot, the great Yeti.
It's not. You can't. It's not been proven. You can't. It's like.
clearly
Imagine,
it has
brother.
if it's the official animal of a town.
imagine
Yeah.
if, like, I'm pretty sure deer are the animal of Michigan. I'm not positive about that, but imagine if you
deer's
could prove
real,
deer.
too.
Imagine deer are real too. Imagine you couldn't prove deer's existence, dude.
But
By the way, super off-topic thing. I know I shouldn't say this right now because it's gonna invalidate my whole point. But I had a dream recently that I was like in front of Bigfoot. The dream was I was at a waterfall. I know this is like 2 nights ago. This is too super invalidating what I just said, but it was a cool dream, and I was like basically about to like sumo wrestle, like, you know, the people on the ring, like, you're like circling each other, and it was like about to kick my ass. And my friend was like, Johnny, and I was like, oh fuck, and it ran away.
No!
But that does not prove its existence. It proves it's a figment of my imagination.
Yeah,
I
that
just
proves you're
thought about it.
fucking crazy, dude. That's a weird
Well,
dream.
then how am I crazy? They don't exist. I can have a dream about it and still know that as a fact.
They
don't
do exist, though.
No, they don't.
Many people believe they do,
okay.
man. Many people think they have tons of evidence for it. I mean, there's the largest like Bigfoot museum in the world is right here in Jasper, Georgia. I mean, you can't tell me
Yeah,
they don't
there's
exist
also-
if people are
I'm
making
sure
giant museums out of it.
There's probably a
Statues,
museum
people are
for-
claiming.
Sorry,
Huh?
you're saying.
Oh, it's a perfect example. People
No,
people
it's
claiming the great animal as their state or town animal.
There's museums for flat Earth. There's a museum for aliens, for religion, and I sure as hell know people out there don't agree with all those 3 topics.
Yeah.
And how
Is
are they
there a
any
flat
more
Earth
valid?
museum? I don't know if there is.
There's
There
a
is
convention.
not.
There's a convention.
Okay,
around
there's
it.
a difference between a convention and a flat Earth museum.
Look it up.
If there's a convention, we should go to it. That'd be tight.
Look it.
There is a convention, 100%. Let's see, Flat Earth Museum.
I can't. Look
I
it
guess so.
up.
Flat Earth
shit!
Museum
I even have a computer. I can tell you that.
in Canada. It's the size of an
Canada.
apartment.
Well, yeah, as if the Bigfoot Museum was any bigger. Well, it was
The
pretty big.
Bigfoot Museum
That was the biggest in the
large.
world.
Yeah, but which is like 2 apartments. It's like
It
two
was
of my-
tight. It was complete. I would say it was complete.
It was a pretty.
incredible.
There was a theater in it. There was a huge Bigfoot thing. But
Tell me
They had
why
all
you
the good
don't.
replicas.
why don't I believe it? But back to episode 26.
Why, 'cause you haven't
episode
seen it? Can you see air?
I can prove air. I can prove air.
Okay, and there are people out there who can prove Bigfoot exists.
No, they can't
They
prove it.
can.
People have
can't.
experienced him. People have
Yeah.
evidence of him all the time.
I've
Yeah.
experienced. I've experienced ghosts, but I can't prove ghosts are real.
It doesn't matter. They're real to you.
That's true.
Yeah,
so
just
they're not
like
real
air,
to me.
oxygen
They're
that
not
we can't
real
see
to me.
are real
that's
to
a- we all
everybody, even though
agree
we
that-
can't see it, because we trust people who can supposedly see it. What's the
Yeah.
difference?
Who can feel those entities? I can't feel those entities. Some people see dead people. We have to
If-
trust Haley Joel Osment that to communicate this to us.
I have to.
Even now.
I have to make the definition, like the distinction that I don't believe in it. I don't. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's not real. Like there could be Megalodon in the Marianas Trench. There could be, but I don't believe in it. That's totally
You
different.
sound real dumb right now.
I sound smarter than
So
both.
you're just
y'all
like a
dumbasses.
skeptic until it's right in front of your face, I guess.
And that, well,
That's a
I'm
fair
a
way
skeptic
to be,
until
though. I
proven.
mean,
Yeah.
that's a fair way to be. I just choose to take all this evidence of supposed Bigfoot existence and be like, okay, that's good enough for me. I would like. It's more fun to believe in it.
Question, Taylor.
Yeah.
Let's say that you have 100 facts in front of you, right?
Yeah.
And these 100 facts have proven towards Bigfoot's, like it's a real thing, like it's tangible.
Okay.
I need 101. This hypothetically.
Dalmatians?
Am I? Yeah. I don't know. What is that? Is that so crazy to believe that I need just a little bit more information? Is that so crazy?
But that's not
No,
a fun
I
way to
mean-
live your life, though.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not fun. It's
I'm
just
not
the way I
going
am.
to see a killer whale. I mean, the odds of me seeing, unless I go like seek it out.
But you can see so much footage and talk to people who like you
I
can.
can see footage of Bigfoot too.
Yeah,
I mean, I still
but
want that
it's
extra
so
1%
different.
of belief, though. I mean, I still want that too. But in the meantime, I'd still rather believe that they are rather than not.
Pessimistic, optimistic. I guess it's just
Yeah.
the way it is.
It just all
It's more
depends on
fun.
how much you let yourself believe. But that's the thing. That's the thing here. We have 7,800 beautiful people living in the town of Marion, North Carolina, and they all believe in it so much as a community that they make it their official animal.
Marion,
What
North
if-
Carolina. I respect that place. I'd like to
We
go
need to
there
go
one
there.
day.
But what if a
Yeah,
place?
let's go there.
What if a place believed that I don't know something crazy like chupacabra? What if there's a place that believed like I don't know oh my gosh what's his name from The Hobbit?
Paul Bunyan.
Oh my gosh Smog. Like, if there's a place that really believed smog
Yeah.
was there,
Schnog.
and you wouldn't believe that because you know it's fictional. What if there are places that believe like Wookiees?
We don't know anything about anything.
But
We don't.
they believe that Wookiees are real. You can't just say, okay, yeah, they believe it, so it's true.
Yeah, but if someone believes it, they clearly have enough evidence to believe it.
It's not
Yeah,
true. People
something
believe in the
explains
stupidest
this.
shit.
Bro.
People believe in the stupidest shit. There are people who are afraid of. There's a phobia out there. People who are afraid of ducks staring at them. There are people out there that literally.
Yeah, but that's different.
Maybe
Like, you're
valid
talking
in some way.
phobias.
Who knows?
It would be. You're talking about different stuff.
You're afraid
I'm
of
talking-
sharks.
people
for
are
some reason.
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're crazy, Taylor. I'm just saying that
Yeah, I'm
it's
not
not
crazy because I'm
proven.
not afraid of nothing.
That's true.
I implore the idea. I implore it. I beg of
Implore.
it to really see more evidence. When I do anything, religion, politics,
And I
wanna
get
know
that.
more.
Yeah.
I get that. There are types of people in this world, and I get that you're one of them, that you just need a little bit more. You need to see to believe, and I understand that. But the way that I like to live my life is that I don't need to see a snow leopard in order to believe it exists. I don't need to see Bigfoot to know he exists, even though I have seen Bigfoot. I have seen Bigfoot.
And then for you know it exists.
Therefore, I know it exists.
I think those are two different. I think a snow leopard and a Bigfoot to seeing not seeing are two different.
Well,
We find new
Well,
species every day, bro. New species
Yeah,
every day.
I don't believe in them until we find them. So I think the amount of evidence there is towards an animal I've not seen is comparable
yeah.
and measurable than a Bigfoot sighting, right? So like there's so much more evidence towards animals I've not seen, but I know they exist than Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Like I will never ever see a dinosaur, but there's just so much more
What are you
evidence.
talking about? You see
maybe.
dinosaurs before. You seen
Or what about, like,
alligators.
oh yeah,
Alligators,
okay, yeah,
yeah.
but like T-Rex
See the
and like
birds.
those ones.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I
Like-
mean, they've changed their idea before about like what they think T-Rex even look like. They're like, did he even have scales? I remember
True.
there was
Did
one
it-
point
did
where
it
they were like,
have
oh no, I
feathers?
think he was full of feathers. So I mean,
Yeah,
they,
so,
they
like-
even changed their idea about that. So who knows? You might go
Just
your
more
whole
evidence.
life thinking that T-Rex was this scaly dude, and then
What
you know,
if-
20 years after you're dead, they come out and they're like, nah, he had feathers, and you
I have a question.
knew it wrong.
Taylor, when did you figure out about Bigfoot? When did you start like thinking about it?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's always been like an urban legend, kind of a myth kind of thing, you know? So it's like something
Your whole
you
life?
know of your whole life, yeah. Just as like, oh, Yeti, Abominable Snowman, Bigfoot. It's just I mean, Harry and the Hendersons was like one of my
Yeah.
favorite movies when I was a kid.
Childhood.
So yeah, childhood. I don't know when
feel
I
like-
started believing it was like really a possibility. I just like you, I need that proof. I need that extra proof. You know, I want that extra little bit so I can go ahead and put my foot down and be like,
To solidify.
100%, it's out there. I've seen it. But, you know, before that, you still have to be 50-50 on yay or nay. And I just think it's more fun to err on the yay side because I still think it is
yeah.
much more. I think it's hella possible that they exist, and people
It's
say
very
they see
fun.
them. I just want to see them. I want to go out and see them so bad.
Yep.
No,
And
Tate,
it'll happen.
you're
It's
right.
going to happen. We're
It's
going to
very
We
see
need to
it.
make
Just- you have
we need to get out there in the woods, man. We need to go on a couple like Smoky Mountain, Blue Ridge tours so we can find the Squatches down here. We can find the what are they
So down.
albino yetis in Jasper.
When
Yeah.
it cools down, you better believe I'm
Yeah.
getting
So
my
down.
my pants on, and we're gonna go.
And then let's do it in Portland as well.
We'll do it in Portland
We'll
too.
hit coast to coast. From the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. We're gonna find those fucking scorches.
I'm
You're
definitely
damn right. It's a
definitely
it's a podcast full of accents today.
You
can only do
goddamn
like
right.
two.
You goddamn
Goddamn
right.
right.
All right, I had a second piece of news, but I'm going to post it on the Facebook. I spent more time on that last piece, and I'm satisfied with it.
Give me the topic.
Yeah, I would
it's
like
about
to know
farting.
as well. What is it?
Then, yeah, don't talk about it.
Farting.
Thank you for not talking about that.
Oh, come on, man. You talking about the
Nope.
German word for drive, right?
Pass.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, okay, all right.
Yeah, I forgot
Driving
you had the German
German
word for
streets.
fart.
Fat.
Fata.
Don't talk about
Hey,
it.
I'm just
good.
going to give you a quick
No.
statistic, and then we can move on to the actual episode.
Okay.
I'm going to say
okay.
Okay.
there is a piece of news that I read
Pizza
that's very
news?
interesting. Pizza news
It's a pizza time.
from Claire Collins, who's a professor in nutrition and nutrition. Fuck that word. At the University of Newcastle in Australia. And she explains what farts are and what happens if you hold them in. So basically, there's a statistic that it's still so funny to me. There's a large volume of intestinal gas, basically, that needs to move to a specific location, and that location is our butt.
I hate this.
Yeah. So the average healthy person farts about 15 times a day. Now, here's where
I'm
the
extra
statistic comes
healthy.
into play.
I'm extra healthy.
So
That's how it
if you actually don't fart and you hold your farts in,
You die.
Sorry, the more times I say the word fart, the more
just giggle.
subscribers we lose.
Yeah, we should just not.
So if you hold your farts in, basically what can happen is that what Colleen
Collins?
Claire Collins
National intestinal disorder.
she studied that actually if you hold your farts in, the intestinal gas can trigger abdominal distension where the gas is reabsorbed into the circulation as it's trying to pass
Your circulation.
and it can be exhaled through your breath.
Oh, ew. So that gives you bad breath by not farting?
Yes.
Fart breath? Oh, my God.
I read a study. I read a study that said it only has short-term effects, not long-term effects, and I'm pretty sure that's a bunch of phooey. Like
Sounds
you're
like
saying,
pooey.
You're saying that a gas can get reabsorbed in your bloodstream, in your circulation, in your circulatory system, and come out of your mouth.
Yeah. And then
sounds
further
insane.
Wait, but who's to say that any gas, anything you make in your body, I'm sure gets absorbed in some way through your bloodstream. Like it's all connected. I'm sure anything you eat, whether it's water, soda, or anything, hydrogen peroxide on your skin, I'm sure it gets absorbed and filtered through your whole entire body through your liver, and therefore everything you ever eat or consume or even come in contact with probably comes out of your breath in some way.
Right. Well, yeah.
So then, yeah, she's valid, but probably just as valid as like I guess air.
Fart breath, though. I mean,
Fart breath
it was going to be a fart. Like, it was pretty much like 95% of the fart. It was everything a fart ever needed to be except for exit.
Can we stop
And that's why it's
with this,
official.
though? We're done.
And-
Hey,
the
so,
worst-
hey, wait, think about this. Was her name? Her name was Claire Collins?
Yeah.
Collins.
Clear Collins.
Clear Collins.
Talking
She's
about-
trying to
This
make a
has to be a
stand.
pun. That has to be a pin name.
Hydroclonic therapy.
That has to be a pin name for her. That has to be a
Well,
pin name.
And she's Australian, so the accent when she says Claire Collins, it'll
Clear,
sound like Claire Collins.
Clear Collins. There it is. Claire Collins.
Australia.
Is this an Onion article?
No, it's from mirror.co.uk. Very valid,
If we know
reputable
anything about
source.
valid sources, people can get PhDs based off like blueberry planet theories. So like,
I have a PhD.
Well,
In what?
let's
In
not
what?
let's not downplay the significance of that study.
That was a damn
but
good
it's
study.
it's not significant.
What, dude? You would never like fuck with that many blueberries at this point. Now
You'd
knowing
never-
the science.
Yeah, you'd never be able to.
Well, no,
Oh,
it's just a
good
good thought
God.
experiment. You know what would
Yeah, but that
happen
doesn't
if the
deserve
Earth
a
was
PhD.
instantly this other thing? You know?
Dude, I see those things all the time. With instantly we didn't have oxygen for 5 minutes, or with instantly we didn't have the sun for 10 seconds. I watch the videos all the time, and no one gets PhDs. All right. I'm
Well,
sorry.
that's
I'm getting heated.
ridiculous, Johnny. Jonathan.
You sound stupid.
All right. Well, we should take a poll. I think people think I sound the most intelligent.
That
Listen, we
might
don't need to
might be
stroke- we don't
true.
need to-
And I don't have any
We don't need to
research.
stroke your ego
I'm
anymore
not-
than it
I'm
already
just
is.
saying, I
Stroke
don't think
your
I'm
ego.
I don't think I sound stupid. I might be stupid. I don't think I sound stupid.
No, you sound smart because you
you
talk
just look
fast.
stupid.
Oh, thanks, man. It's all it's all crutch.
All right, Taylor. This podcast is also sponsored by Future Monsters, a premier apparel store with pop culture and horror focus. Each product is handmade with quality materials, so not only does it look good, but it feels so good. No mass-produced cheap garbage here, with designs inspired by King Kong, the Wolfman, and much more. These shirts are a must for every occasion, whether it be nightclubbing, metal shows, weddings, and of course, our favorite, podcasting. Head over to futuremonsters.com and enter the code HYBRO, that's a capital HYBRO, at checkout to save 10% on your next purchase. We know we'll be doing that as soon as possible. All right, Taylor, what do you got for us today, bud?
I don't know. I don't know. But here we go.
Oh, shit!
They say that what doesn't kill you. Scratch that.
No,
I'm gonna keep going. Okay, no.
All right.
They say that what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. But what if I told you what didn't kill us made itself stronger?
You fucking ripping me off.
Wait, I've heard this before.
What if it's right in front of us all the time, and yet we're never able to see it?
Wait,
And yet we're never able to see it.
I've seen this before.
I'm talking about the movie Hollow Man, the Y2K cult classic that deals with hard-hitting, deep emotions, but mainly what creepy Kevin Bacon would do when he is presented with the ability to be invisible.
Never seen it.
What?
Of course,
I'm so convinced.
I'm so confused. Did you steal that? Where have I heard that before?
I don't know where you may have heard
did,
that.
Did you do that?
You heard it last week.
Did you just copy? You just plagiarize your own team member?
This episode is going to be centered around invisibility or the inability to be visible.
Oh, shoot.
So, throughout history... What?
So, throughout
history, man and indeed beast have successfully used various methods of camouflage to elude their adversaries and to continue onward into the great unknown. Although the word was taken from the French word camouflage, to disguise, in the early 1900s, the idea of camouflage has been a critical part of life's development since the dawn of time.
Wow.
Can you give me that word in French one more time?
Camouflage?
Camouflage.
One more time.
Camouflage.
Hit me one more time.
Camouflage.
Continue.
That means to disguise. So the definition is the concealment by some means that alters or obscures one's appearance.
Okay.
So my favorite example, probably because it's one of the trippiest, is of animals using the camouflage. Is of that of the cephalopods, the squid, the cuttlefish,
octopus,
the octopus,
cuttlefish. Hell yeah, dude! They can alter their not only the color of their body.
Settle down, Johnny.
Okay, I like sea life, but they can also like they can change.
I like aquatic
I like
things.
turtles.
They're cool. Okay, well, hear me the fuck out. Okay, they can change like literally the texture of their skin.
Yeah,
it's
man,
crazy.
it's fucking nuts looking, dude. I don't see how they do it so quick. They like totally take the shape of like a coral around them and shit.
They essentially like they can change the chemical makeup of what makes pigmentation visible through our or any I guess eyesight or like rods and cones. They can change that pigmentation in real time based off their environment to either help them catch prey or evade predators. It's fucking wild.
That's exactly right, Johnny. These guys, they can replicate pretty complex patterns almost instantly. These fools have these specialized pigment cells called chromatophores that change colors by reflecting different types of light back onto the observer.
So they're basically using light and they're like a mirror and they're just like manipulating what I guess wavelengths are being perceived.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah,
That's
so basically these cells, they have the ability to like enlarge these cells into like groups, and they're kind of like just sacks of these cells. They can enlarge them, manipulate them into different shapes, and depending on different lights, different colors they filter is depending on what color it reflects.
Yeah,
right.
Mainly cephalopods though. Like other animals do this, or is it just mainly cephalopods?
Cephalopods is the animals that do it in this way. I mean.
Like chameleons,
obviously chameleons. Yeah, I don't know if it's chromatophores that they use to change in that way, but they're pretty cool though.
Because what would you consider camouflage? Like an animal or a thing changing color or pigmentation or like texture? Like humans change their face and texture when they get like
when we get sunburnt.
That's true.
Yeah.
But like, is that a type of camouflage?
Well,
You know,
I would actually another perfect example that I point out is the change that's actually thought to be for mating purposes, but it is the seasonal change in hair color in the humana femina,
So we change hair
which
color
is the
'cause of
human
sun?
female.
So what you're saying is that
During the summer, hair gets lighter.
because the pigmentation in your hair gets bleached because of those same nutrients that the sun emits.
No, it's not like
No?
a natural thing in humans or anything. No, no, it's chicks change their hair depending on the season.
Oh, I thought it was everybody.
No, but I mean, it doesn't have to be something super complex. Like, it can be as simple as just changing the color of your fur. Like, there are rabbits. This one rabbit called the snowshoe hare actually goes from a dirty brown to a nice crisp white between the summertime and wintertime.
Wow.
So just that simple, yeah.
Like polar bears, but like they're actually not white. They just like the snow on them. It's a type of camouflage, I'm sure.
That's an adapt.
No, they're white as fuck.
No, they're not.
Get what? Really?
Polar bears aren't white.
Polar bears are not white?
Look it up, Jay.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
Polar bears are a type of brown, and they literally you can see it when in different climates. The polar bears are out of snow, and if it's not snowing, they actually turn this weird brown color. It looks kind of nasty, but the white is just like a combination of the snow and the place they're in. A little fun fact from Jenny Clark. Look it up, Jay. How do you feel about it?
Let's see.
Yeah, that's like it's an adaptive thing.
Like you change for like you camouflage your
Yeah,
body.
you change. That's a part of their gene makeup, and they change, basically adapt or die. So like
Pseudocephalopods.
the color of their fur changes to adapt with their environment.
I don't think so. I think just the environment changes them just based off that causality. Like the fact that I live in the forest, I guess it gives me more of a forest scent than like urban. That's not me camouflaging.
Well, it's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, I think it's a
It's not,
defense
though. I don't
mechanism.
think
You
it
get
is.
just
It's
some of them are
natural
long term,
selection.
some of them could be short term.
I think only if the animal can do it in their own gene makeup. Like a polar bear is not changing its gene makeup by being
Like mentally,
in, like,
you can like
Antarctica.
mentally make the decisions.
Yeah. You can change it.
I don't know.
By the way, Tay, you find out they're not white?
No, I'm not finding the clear.
Nick, you look it up. They're
That's
not.
because you're wrong.
I'm
Johnny.
fucking positive polar bears are not white. Fucking look it up.
But like the fur color is strictly based on like. So that's it. Yeah. So although polar bears usually look white, the fur isn't white. And their skin is actually black. Polar bear fur is actually see-through, but it takes on a white color because of its structure.
Black,
Okay,
brown,
there we go.
whatever.
Nice.
Guys, you think I'd never give you a fact that's wrong?
Oh, you never
Sometimes.
Probably.
Hey, you never know.
I really don't know.
But what I'm saying is like there are animals that adapt. Basically, that's like it is the adapt or die mentality. Where like with the specific rabbit, if the
Flight, get the fuck out.
if the rabbit had white fur during the summer when things were green and brown and blossoming, that rabbit is a target.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
when that fur color changes and happens in the winter, that rabbit can actually have a chance to survive, and that's a feature of that specific rabbit that has adapted, or a species of rabbit that was strictly spawned. It's the dog mentality, right? Like dogs all started as wolves, and then more breeds of domesticated dogs happened, evolved, and adapted.
Yes.
Based on their domestication, and that's how we have different breeds of dogs.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing with the rabbit that Taylor's talking about. That I mean, I don't know a lot about
it's
that
still
rabbit.
like
but I
a
think,
selection, a natural selection versus an unnatural selection, but yeah, it's still just a selection
All right,
over time. Yeah, the ones who can shed their fur and turn white in the wintertime survive, and that becomes the norm for them, I guess.
All right, Tay. Well, that's almost like the idea that like a lot of prey have their eyes on the side of their heads, and predators have their eyes on the front of their heads. It's just like the evolution.
That's an
of
adaptation,
animals.
yeah. That's
All
an
right, Tay.
adaptation.
What else you got for me there, babe?
Well, one thing I find is fucking weird is that the military didn't even start using fucking any kind of camouflage mentality until like way late in the game. Like, not until like the World Wars.
Yeah, well,
crazy.
no, even the World Wars. I saw this. It was French or what was it? That had like blue military uniforms. They were strictly blue and like brown, and it was like I can see what you're not going to fight in a blueberry patch.
Yeah,
That's like
you're
the most,
bright blue. Like where can you be hidden? In like
now-
one certain waterfall, you guys could all like stand near.
Exactly. We now use like Delta 6 or like different types of fall or blue tiger camo that like you can change in your environment, but like, and that's even that, dude. Like I see camo now. I know there's a meme that says when you have camo you can't see through it, like John Cena. But I feel like I feel like as a whole, camo isn't even that good. Like you should have like so many different types of shades.
Well, dude, what I found was like I thought there would be like thousands of different types of camo. You know, like camo for every fucking situation,
Every environment.
Which there are different types of camo and shit. But apparently for the military, there are literally only 8 that I could find that were listed as U.S. military camos. I thought there would be fucking
6,
thousands.
Sandstorm.
Dude.
I bet they have some kind of urban. Darude. I bet they have tons of different stuff, but it's like 8 seems not like a lot, but you gotta remember, Tay, in the different environments they're in, like they're probably not in 2 different, deserts. Because a lot of deserts are the same. I feel like the same thing with like towns and cities. Like
but
do you think places?
Do you think U.S. military would be like, we need it for every environment on Earth, every different kind of bush. We need to hide everywhere. We need to have it all.
Well,
not
remember
8
this
patterns.
Tay. Every single, let's say there's 100,000 soldiers, right? And they have 100,000 outfits. That one outfit, they probably have 2 changes of clothes, who knows? Then they're going to have 2 sets of every single other. That's 8 more sets. That's so much weight. Not only that, but like every one of those things and their camos, their guns painted different camos. Like, dude, that's impossible.
I'm not saying carry it on them at all times or anything. I'm just saying be available for manufacture.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like, this is just an official like print that we have that's going to be good in more situations than just rocks or whatever it is.
Or is like camo has been trying to take a resurgence. Like I see people like trying to wear camo as if it's stylish. I don't think I'll ever think it is. Is that just me?
Oh, well, you just moved to Nashville, so that's why you're seeing more camo. That's the resurgence you're talking about, is you just moving to the South.
No, celebrities. I think celebrities are using it. Like they have like celebrity pants and like I'll see like the word, I don't know, Supreme or whatever. Or I'll see a member for The Walking Dead on a panel, and they'll have camo pants, and I'm like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I just don't think I'd ever wear them or would think it's that stylish.
I feel like Johnny spent a lot of time going, I wouldn't wear it.
But he wants to wear it so bad.
Yeah,
don't wear it.
I want to wear. I'm just saying, like,
you have a choice.
I'm just saying it's making a rise, and it's not that effective.
What, camo?
Dude, I don't think they're wearing it to not be seen.
As a whole, like, I don't know.
I think it looks cool. Sometimes.
Really?
I don't wear it, but I'm in Georgia, so I just see it all the time. I guess it's just part of my life around here, so I don't ever like really think about it when I see it. It's just like, yep, more camo. I'm back home, baby. But
I love my camo shirt.
What else you got?
I thought it was funny. Apparently in World War I, when they started messing around with like inventing camouflage, the British, they called it Dazzle-Paintings.
Dazzle-Painting?
I feel like that's
Dazzle-Paintings.
Making fun of
Americans.
Be like, look at their cute little dazzle paintings.
Did he say
They look
Dazzle-Paintings?
like zebras.
Did he say Dazzle-Paintings?
Dazzle-Paintings.
Okay, guys. Okay, what?
Wasn't dazzle short for razzle dazzle?
I'll razzle your dazzle.
I don't know if razzle dazzle is long for dazzle. I don't know.
I feel
like two great words together. Razzle is an amazing word, and dazzle has always been effective. Slam them together. Like, that's a portmanteau.
I feel like that would be. Like, they have the ship painted. Everyone pulls up in their military ships, and they got the one painted that's all dazzled out.
It's like bedazzled with like buckle jeans,
and it's just the only one standing out.
It's reflective.
He's like, "Really, guys? Ours is the only one."
You didn't explain this right. You said razzle dazzle. This is definitely razzle dazzle. Sparkles everywhere.
On that same light, and I might be breaching too far in the episode, the whole point of futuristic camouflage is to be able to reflect what you're seeing at an object, and then simultaneously capture that image and reflect it on the other side. So you're basically showing the user what you're looking at in past. Yeah. So I would think reflective materials are actually a great form of camouflage if used in the right way.
Reflective is the way to go, apparently. Yeah. Now, check this out. Let's dive deep into this episode. Now, you got to realize that this government of Oz is presumably always up to crazy shit, right?
Yeah.
And, of course, in the days of the World Wars, they were into some pretty nutso experiments.
Yep.
One of these experiments was the Philadelphia experiment of 1943. Now, the experiment in question involves the Cannon-class destroyer escort ship of the United States Navy, the USS Eldridge, DE-173.
Okay.
This was also referred to as Project Rainbow. The Philadelphia experiment is an alleged account of the USS Eldridge being momentarily cloaked right there at the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard in October of 1943.
If I know anything about Project Blank, which is a positive notation, this is going to be negative as shit.
Yeah.
Project Sunshine was the
every
darkest
project
shit.
was like the darkest.
Well, it's like
it's the
Project
worst stuff.
Sunshine is like manipulation of like children DNA and bones with radiation. Project like Rainbow is probably like the same thing but with ships.
I feel
Yeah,
like
somehow deadlier and darker.
I don't know about Project
Rainbow.
Philadelphia or Project
okay.
Rainbow. I don't know about it, but I can tell you right now that the way I perceive this is going is that you're about to tell us that they made the ship disappear and reappear, but they didn't make the people on the ship reappear. So they basically lost like hundreds of people that are still invisible wandering around on planet Earth.
It could be something like that. But unfortunately, I'm not sure that these people are lost wandering around. So apparently, the story goes that the ship was loaded up with a select crew of lucky naval officers. A small number, though. It was then equipped with some sort of newfangled electromagnetomatic cloaking device. And then the switch was flipped. Upon flippage of said switch, the ship is surrounded by a cloud of greenish and yellowish fog. What I would imagine a fart cloud actually looking like.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Electricity is flying everywhere. It's a chaotic scene. Until boom, the ship disappears. The ship teleports over 200 miles away to Norfolk, Virginia, where it is then seen for several minutes before teleporting back in one piece back at the Philadelphia shipyard.
Teleporting?
Teleportation,
out.
Holmes.
Wait. So did it disappear and then reappear later, or was it just like bloop bloop?
Yeah, it disappeared for several minutes.
Minutes.
Several
So
minutes. Yeah.
In attempting to cloak it, they actually teleported the
So
ship.
They teleported this motherfucker.
Aliens out there like, all right. As soon as they get the invisibility, we're gonna give them like 5 bonus points. Like, boop boop.
We're
Oh
gonna
shit!
teleport
Press the
them real
button. Press the
quick. They
button.
were gonna think that we did something crazy.
88 miles per hour.
50 million
not-
gigawatts. Whatever.
Marty.
So the effects of this trip, that this trip had on the men aboard, it varied in severity. Some of the men reported nausea, vomiting, headaches. Some men even went insane. Those are just small potatoes compared to what happened to some of the guys.
Small potatoes.
Small potatoes, buddy. One man supposedly reappeared inside out. Dead as fuck.
Oh.
Alright. One dude reappears in another place on the ship entirely, missing a few limbs. And some men were physically bonded to the ship itself, embedded in the steel, as if when they rematerialized, their body and the materials of the ship were molded into one substance.
Bootstrap Bill Turner from like
Oh
Pirates of
my
the Caribbean.
god!
Like,
Part of
what,
the crew.
dude?
Part of the ship.
I feel like even the people who were putting that together took like you got like Sergeant Bill who's just like, I mean, they say they're taking some of the best of the best.
It's the
but,
best of the best.
I really haven't done anything, but this is pretty cool. I'm part of Project Rainbow. This is great.
First day.
And meanwhile, like they're up there, like waiting for it to go. He's like, I really like Bill. He was a good kid, but he's about to get fucked up though.
He knows too much.
Inside
Flip the
out.
switch. Flip the
Flip
switch.
the switch.
But no,
So-
yeah, do it.
So my question is, so there's how many people on the ship?
It's like an unknown number, but it's not like a full crew of people. It's like a select number of people. It's like a small amount, but
Okay,
a good
so
number
this-
of men. Yeah.
Unlucky people are on the ship, and then they get invisible, and they appear.
They get
200
invisible.
miles away in Norfolk, Virginia. Yeah.
They can't get in a couple minutes. There's no way a ship can get in a couple minutes 100 miles away. It's impossible. But nautical miles or normal miles? Did you say?
I believe these are normal miles. Normal
Okay.
miles. Yep.
I'm not a boat guy. but,
Average miles. Yep. Land miles.
So if
Miles.
a good number of them turn inside out, why? Is it just like it's a coincidence that where they wound up physically in space in that ship was like it was possibly a wall, possibly the bathroom, like it just like so happened?
That's what I was wondering. I guess it depends on what, it's unclear what method they would have supposedly used to do this. Something electromagnetic that like has everything. It's frequency related. I don't know. Somehow that when it dematerializes and rematerializes, whatever, let's say that happens.
It's fucking wild.
Huh?
It's fucking wild.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say that that's what happened. I guess when it's up there, a million pieces in the air, like the Wonka bar, just like he says, when it's coming back together, there could be mistakes. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I find it very difficult to wrap my head around this.
What say you, sir?
Instead of so if back then when they're doing this shit,
Where was this
why
again?
do not? This was what 1940?
Philadelphia, 1943. The year. This is in the month of October.
Okay.
1943.
1943.
You're trying to tell me.
You're trying to tell me.
That instead of trying to take mirrors and create some sort of mechanism that basically creates a mirrored wall around the ship, therefore deeming it non-existent.
Wow.
Instead of experimenting with that, with the normal things like mirrors, they're creating green fart clouds of electricity that's turning people inside out.
Well, if you can remember to Malaysia Flight 370, apparently there was a cloud formation that the pilot talked about before they also vanished. So
Yellowish
maybe that's
fog.
the secret thing.
But why
right?
are they experimenting with that? I mean, this is just thinking
dude,
about the past stuff, thinking about Project Sunshine, and then thinking about the moon landing stuff, the extremes that we went to test these, we're struggling, it's 2018, and we're struggling with, holistic medicines like weed and essential oils and shit. And yet in 1943, they're testing magic? Black magic?
It's black magic, y'all. Who knows, man? I mean, parallel dimension type talk. If they can disrupt the fabric of space and time or figure out how it correlates so they could, in fact, teleport. Dude, that's a fucking good thing. I mean, that'd be just dope if we could be teleporting everywhere.
Yeah, but clearly we can't.
So
We can turn inside out.
The idea is somehow related to Einstein's entanglement theory, where this is also related to the double slit theory that we talked about, where in this entanglement theory, they talk about two particles being entangled with each other, and it doesn't matter the distance between them. They're interacting instantaneously, faster than the speed of light, and said that is the basis of what this could be based off of, what this technology, what this science could be based off of.
Dumb that down a little bit.
That's about as much as I know of it. But basically, it states that I'm not what I can't wrap my head around is how they can decide that two particles are entangled, or I guess you could think of them as being a pair.
Yeah.
And you can take this pair that's entangled with each other. One of them is going to be, let's say, positive. The other one's going to be negative. But they talk about them in relation to their spin. One of them will spin in one direction. The other one, by de facto, will spin the other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the problem... Oh, sorry, continue.
Wait.
I was just going to say, so the only thing that's weird about them is they could be spinning in any direction. It doesn't matter what. But as soon as you measure one, it decides what way that one's spinning, and the other one is automatically spinning the opposite way. It's whatever it is. It's automatically its opposite based on when it's perceived. It's weird.
Maybe that's just the way we see it. Maybe the way it's being measured can only be seen in that way.
Yeah, it's all perception, and that's what I was gonna say is that it's from us talking about basically you have to science is math in a way. In a way.
Yeah,
apparently, the way they do all these calculations is with math. I mean, somehow,
yeah, of course.
We act like I can get it, but they do these. They do this with math somehow, and they're just oh yeah, so blah, 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 it works. Bing.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the problem, and I've been thinking about this lately. I mean, we don't do enough episodes on theories. We do conspiracy theories, but as far as scientific theories, we don't venture down that path a lot.
Yeah.
But my thing is if Einstein were alive now or in 1943, when they're trying to take his theory, because the thing is, no matter how much he's writing down and how much he's recorded, how many audio tapes he's made, whatever, only he truly understands that specific theory. If you're taking a theory that you half understand, and then you're applying your own version of that theory, I feel like if the people who created these things
were alive,
we'd
he was
be in
alive
a whole
during this
different
time.
place.
Yeah, I thought he was alive. I thought he died
Was he?
after
He was alive.
World War II.
Yeah,
How-
he
but he
died
wasn't,
in 1955.
He was old as shit,
But
though.
Nick,
Old
I
as
disagree
shit
with you.
indeed, yeah.
I disagree with you. He probably wasn't using them because he's
76.
probably really old. But my quarrel is that who's to say that the creator of something knows it the best, right? So I feel like even though he created the theory of relativity, people can understand it more full and now applied science because of the way and the strides we've taken now.
You know what? I retract what I said.
Okay.
You're right. Because being at the Edison Museum and learning, thinking about Thomas Edison, as everyone goes, he invented the light bulb. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He perfected the light bulb, and someone who created the light bulb, basically someone came in and did it better.
Did a little bit better,
and that's the world we live in.
Okay, cool.
So
that's what we learned a couple weeks ago, that more often than not, the second or third person to come across an idea is the one that makes it popular.
That's what you call cherry picking in soccer.
No one cares about soccer.
Here's my
Unless it's ATLU.
Yeah, I'm not sure what we're doing right now. We probably have finished the season as number 1 in the world.
Okay, but back on track.
Braves are in first place right now too.
So I have another thought. So I'm gonna bring this into something you guys are probably not gonna like it at all. But my thought is that they put human men or males and maybe there's females. I don't know.
They were human men. Yeah.
I'm not sure if they had women on this boat. It was 1940s.
Oh, I don't think they did. No, they definitely did not have women on that
thankfully,
boat.
because none of them died. So, anyways,
I agree.
My thought is that even Draco Malfoy in Harry Potter 6,
God damn it,
fucking sent an apple through the vanishing cabinet to Borgin and Burks from the room of requirement before he sent a bird, right? The concept was what?
I don't know if you know this, but I specifically left Harry Potter out of the intro. So continue.
Oh, because they vanished?
No,
they just disapparate? Anyways, so the concept is...
It's also fiction, Johnny. You know that, right?
Yeah, but who said this isn't as well? So the concept is, so a fake story. Well, we're saying that this is real.
Okay.
This ship,
all right, we're going to pretend Harry Potter is real.
No, we're not saying the ship is real. I'm saying, we're saying
we're going to pretend that witches and wizards are boys and girls and different.
Can we get back onto my train of thought? Even
a
fictional character created out of fiction had the knowledge to send an inanimate, non-alive object through a vanishing or like an invisible thing, magic, right? Or like a teleportation before a living being, because like even monkeys to the moon or different things, we need to make sure that it's safe to do it and that thing won't explode before humans do it. So why the fuck did they put men on this boat?
They probably tested it.
Who's
test
said
was men.
this is the first time? This is the first time there were witnesses. I guess maybe it's happened a couple times before with no men. Who knows?
But that's the thing is if they put in my example a whole bunch of apples or birds on this boat before real life humans, they would have seen that one was inside out. Yeah, I don't want to say human males because that sounds so sexist, but like those things would turn inside out. The birds would have died. They would have been inside out or exploded.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, it's possible that they've done this a few times, and this is the only time that this happened. Maybe it was flawless times before. Maybe they did all these tests. They're like, all right, good to go. Let's launch it. And then boom, this time it's just like, oh shit, 1 out of 5 dudes coagulate with steel. And like, dude, a weird side point is in the last Hybro episode, had some points that we will talk about in the future one day. One of them is called the John Hutchison effect. And it is like something very similar to this, like to different materials, like non-related materials melding together. Based on directed energy weapons of some kinds. So
you're saying that it's possible that they were melted into the steel or
there is some other evidence of non-related like materials being melded together.
An energy weapon
in different situations. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just a side anecdote that's like could aid to the flame, could aid to the validity of it.
I'd argue to the fact that if this boat was being transported or teleported hundreds of miles in a couple minutes, unless it was literally just like picked up and moved, right, like very gently, everything inside is gonna move or change or be affected by that extreme change in motion.
Well, yeah, speed, motion, whatever it is.
It would affect the water that it lands on.
I would say. Even like the G's that you'd be pulling for that, you best believe your body's gonna fucking explode. So I don't think it's
who knows? Who knows though? What if what they're talking about with this quantum entanglement shit? Like remember in the double slit theory, like what was weird is that when it goes through like these particles, they seem like it reacts to every possible outcome that it could have. Like it's reacting to everywhere it could possibly be. So what if in this, if these two things could be entangled, two particles in separate destinations, what if it's an unsaid two particles and you can somehow define those, immediately you can pick them. You can pick the whole boat and all its contents. Boom, those are the particles. Everything inside this field. That's what I want to switch places with. You somehow have something else that determines where it goes. Who knows? But it just instantly happens. It's not like nothing would have to be torn apart or anything. Everything would still exist in the same spot, just in a different place in space.
Taylor, that sounds smart as shit. I don't think I'll ever be able to understand fully that double slit theory. And I'm going to say, from a quote unquote smart person's perspective, I can't.
That don't make no sense.
I don't know neither. But one of the cool other stories that people had talked about that added to this folklore was there were even stories of some of these men floating in and out of visibility, like at random times. Like they'd be like, "Oh, I'm going invisible," and then they would come back.
I feel sick.
Yeah. But this story is widely considered to be a hoax, based on mainly testimonials from the actual crew members who claim that some of them had been on the ship from its construction all the way through to its decommission.
Wait, how is that impossible?
Yeah, that's what I said. It was only in commission for like 3 years or something, though.
But still,
and some
I
of
don't
these
think
guys,
that's
like, you know, the techs and the mechanics and stuff, I guess they are there when it's being built, and they literally like build the parts that they're going to work on, I guess, and they
stay
serve on the boat. Yeah, and this boat only lasted a couple years before it was sold off. I found that very like suspect as well. That seems like what? It's like
Maybe that's
what?
a thing
There was
they
never
do.
like a weekend in October of 1943 that
You got
maybe they were
family?
just in port getting boozed up.
Yeah, I feel like I know a couple captains. I know a couple sailors that sail the great
The Ocean
oceans.
Blue?
One of my best friends growing up, actually, as a captain, used to sail to Pakistan, and every single soul gets off that boat and parties. I have a hard time believing these people back in the 1940s didn't get off for 3 years. I don't care how much of a closet shut-in you are. You have a family. You have something that you want to do on port. Why would you say that seems super invalid?
I think for sure they even in those statements didn't mean like they never got off the boat. I'm sure they got off the boat when they're supposed to, like regularly, But
Yeah.
I guess
They're
what they
saying I
mean
was
is
married
the
to the
entire life of the boat they were on station. They were stationed on the boat. You know.
Off and on. Well, here's a quick thought too before we carry on, my wayward son.
I was hoping you do that.
Yeah, buddy.
There?
What if that whatever they were testing
Don't you cry, no.
wasn't actually made by us? What if it was some sort of alien, some sort of alien technology that we were using?
Okay.
Oh, so like this is like Independence Day. We found the ship. And we're like, let's just try it out.
I can fly.
Yes,
it.
very Independence Day.
Okay.
I gotta give me one of these.
Yeah. Yeah. So we found the ship,
Except
and
the
then
guy
we're like,
turned inside out would not be saying that.
it's true. So we found the ship, and then what happened?
Well, I guess maybe you're saying the devices used to cloak the ship. It would be the device that would be found, I guess, right? Or not made
Right.
by man. Yeah, because I mean, this was U.S. battleship that we're talking about. Yeah, so but they put these whatever devices on them, so those totally valid. Maybe it came from somewhere else. You know?
I would. Sorry.
No. I was,
Okay.
Yeah, you,
So
you buddy.
I'll go. I would argue the fact what Nick is saying is that if we did find or were able to use higher knowledge technology and it went wrong, we would hide that shit like a motherfucker.
Immediately, dude.
Like,
Immediately.
As soon as we found out, we use this thing that is of a higher intelligence and it killed people,
Right.
it never fucking happened.
Killed people, dude. And like, I don't know if this Nicholson effect is real, and hopefully we dive into it one day, where non-like materials can be melded together. Like, I don't know. That seems fucking crazy. You could do all kinds of crazy. You could destroy big items, I think.
Big items.
Big item destroy. But one thing that was weird is this has been confirmed that on the USS Eldridge, there was an experimental type of cloaking technique that was being used at the time, oddly enough. And it was called degaussing, which is basically running electrical wires through the length of the ship and altering the ship's magnetic field to avoid certain types of mines during World War II.
Yeah, like there's
Wow.
a certain type of frequency, I think magnetic frequency, that certain mines and other ships' sonars, like submarines, give off.
Yeah.
It's just like sharks and the nervous system of other fish. Like they can sense that and then find it. So if they can turn that shit off, fuck yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess those mines were called magnetic mines. Yeah, just avoid those motherfuckers, and they are safe.
They're balloons.
But so I mean, there is some kind of truth in this. They were using some cloaking device. It's possible that these, there was some bar chatter one day. We're practically invisible these days, and they're just talking about their degaussing technique, and somebody just takes it and runs with it.
There was a hypothetical Nick gave me recently. I forgot the quantity of money.
I'll save it till the end of the podcast.
All right, Nick.
Oh, is it a fresh hypothetical, huh?
When you want it. Do you know what I'm talking about, though?
No.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, then you can do it when you are ready. Taylor, proceed.
Yeah, we'll wrap up with it.
Yeah, so there is apparently a story to how this hoax was started, and it was some butthole named Carl Allen, who was a naval officer who claimed to witness this event with others. He stated that he was on a neighboring U.S. Warship.
Okay.
But he went about it in a really weird way. So there's this book called The Case for the UFO, written by Morris K. Jessup. This author basically writes about UFOs, aliens, different cool conspiracies during the time. So this guy, Carl Allen, gets one of these books and for some reason writes all these cryptic, weird things in the ledger, in the sides, all the space. He just writes all these crazy things and he sends it into the Office of Naval Research. And that's basically where the legend begins. And then there's years and years, stories are written.
10 years?
There's a movie about this, apparently, about the Philadelphia experiment. And apparently, this guy came out at one point in the 70s and said it was a hoax himself. But then he later, a couple of years after that, came out and said, no, that hoax was a hoax, and that it was all real.
Then, as soon as that person says anything, they're invalid. So that's not a credible source. My thought is that if I can
crying wolf.
Yeah.
Oh, like they weren't strong enough to hold the secret? So like they, who's to say they were strong enough to even get the info?
I'm saying if anybody goes back on what they said, they are instantly non-credible.
Not incredible. Like not a superhero?
They're both. They're not incredible, and they're also not credible.
You're right.
Because
they're devaluing their own opinion.
Because if I'm like, yeah, I saw that Bigfoot. No, I didn't. Oh, yeah, I fucking did. Like, no, you're just going back in your story. Like either did or you didn't, and like fucking stop.
Yeah,
well, I would say that there's another option. Like, let's say this guy's running on he's 10 years deep into this is a true story life. And, he cashed in on it for about 10 years or so, and it's waned out. No one's interested anymore. Maybe the natural life of some of these conspiracy theories are, okay, I don't care what the truth is. I just got to flip my story real quick, come out as a hoax. Maybe I can do another 60-minute special or whatever. Cash in again real quick.
Fuck that
Let
person,
that run out, and then maybe flip it again. At that point, people, it's got its life of its own, and people are going to believe it if they want to, no matter what you say after that point.
That sounds like Bigfoot.
But one thing that's weird about this whole story, though, this is not like Bigfoot, Johnny. Shut up.
Sounds like Bigfoot.
But what's weird about this case is that Morris K. Jessup and this Carl Allen decided that they were going to meet up at one point to discuss crazy-ass topics related to this shit.
Okay.
The next day, Morris K. Jessup was found dead in his car.
Holy shit, it sounds like Danny Casolaro.
Yeah, it was an apparent suicide. He had a hose hooked up to his muffler leading into his car.
He flooded his car?
Flooded his car with the carbon monoxide. Yeah, pretty grim, dude. But weird coincidence.
Yeah, the Danny Casolaro episode was a suicide. I thought about that for a second, and I feel like there's a lot more. This sounds really morbid. I talked about this in the episode 16. I think it was episode 16, the Casolaro mystery.
17?
No, 16.
Is
it was
16?
Yeah. I'm the cinephile here. Anyways, so the vice to kill yourself, the muffler. It's just that sounds like it was not. Oh, do you take a screenshot, Nick?
Sorry.
Anyways, so I feel like there's a better way to go about it, and I don't know why, if he's about to have a conversation, why would he would kill? Like this is a very important part. It's like one of you guys.
I don't even know why you're trying to crack this nut open, Johnny. He didn't kill himself.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
bet you there was a note left on the scene that was signed with a little picture of an owl or a pyramid. Or an all-seeing eye. This motherfucker's got Bohemian Grove written all over it, dog.
Can we just stop for a second and just talk about how scientific and Netflix investigative Johnny just got?
Same thing with Danny Casolaro, though.
Why would they? It just doesn't make sense.
It couldn't be a suicide.
Because he didn't do it.
Well, let's make sure we all agree on that. We all agree on that.
Do we agree he didn't do it?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Aye.
Yeah,
aye. He didn't do it. He didn't do it, Captain. It was murdered. It was murdered by the U.S. Naval Research, the Office of Naval Research.
Johnny put his sunglasses on as he was like deep diving
That's
straight
not even
up.
true. I put them on like 10 minutes ago.
Straight up NCIS
took
in
them
this
on.
bitch. He's like, puts them on.
No, I think the whole point is like I want to find out for good. It makes sense, right? That people trying to crash it open die.
Yes,
Exactly,
Johnny.
yeah. It's like, well, 1-2, man. Whenever somebody's going to be like cracking those cans, dude, cracking the nut open, somebody comes down and they kill him. They kill him.
Well, that's us.
No
Johnny
one
would be
knows
the
where
first
we
to
are.
go.
No one knows where we are. See, I'm podcasting here from the middle of Indiana. No one can ever find me out here.
Indiana. You even know what the middle of Indiana looks like. Bloomington.
That's what Indiana
Oh
is
shit!
like.
You're actually there. I didn't know you were podcasting outside. Oh man!
Are you underwater?
No, I'm drinking now. Hey, yo, hi, bros. Time to take a break to caffeinate. While you're listening to a podcast as unpredictable as ours, you need a coffee that's going to keep you on your toes. That's why I reach for the strongest coffee on the planet. Death Wish Coffee. Available ground or whole bean. And hell, you can even get them in K-Cups. Available at deathwishcoffee.com. That's deathwishcoffee.com.
Oh,
Well, boys,
Dude,
like, I tried to look up some new information on, like, what's the new nanotechnology, what's the new cloaking device. I did find some pretty cool things. One of the devices I found was, like, this tubular-looking device, but it wouldn't really be effective over, like, the size of a toilet paper roll. And one of its drawbacks is it's only invisible to ultraviolet light, which is who gives a fart, right?
You can erase yourself from like heat signatures, like a thermal camera.
Yeah.
You can get yourself invisible from that. It's not like a big whoop or anything.
yeah.
Oh,
You
big
do that.
whoop, Johnny.
I'm pretty sure the concept. I watched something on this. I'm pretty sure like the future of invisibility is like the Predator, right? So like you have a camera
Right.
that can simultaneously project what is being seen on the other side of the image.
Right, yeah, and I feel like I had heard about that in the past few years, like tiny little nano machines that would basically be like a cloak, a sheet made out of this shit, where it's a giant sheet and every little nano machine knows its position on this grid. Let's say like A1, B2, on the grid or whatever. Every nano machine knows where it's on, just like an LED wall would be programmed, right?
Or an octopod, like it just knows where it is
Yeah,
in
exactly.
relativity to that.
It knows where that fucking color cell is. And basically its position in the front, it'll be picking it up. It'll project that image on its corresponding pixel on the back. I thought I had heard of that, and I'm pretty sure I had, but I could not find anything like that in my research. And the newest shit I could find was like back in 2010, which is kind of more related to the stuff you were talking about earlier, where it's basically light being bent.
Yeah.
More like the Predator, I guess. So basically, back in 2010, science peoples created the first cloak that could apparently work on a 3D object. Although it was just invisible to types of light that are still not visible to humans anyways, and it was tiny, basically like a third of the width of the human hair. But about 1 year later, these same science dudes, they released the ability to cloak objects up to about 2 centimeters wide using naturally forming crystals, calcite crystals, that basically when put together in the right formation, they will just bend light directly around an
cool.
object.
It's almost as tall as I am.
As if it's not there. Yeah, it's almost as tall as you. You're more of a girthy guy. The 2 centimeters.
Oh man,
Little girthy fella.
no, that's so funny.
I think it rings very similar to the past episodes that we've had where we've talked about these experiments, and it seems that when they sort of wrap up, they just sort of die
Yep.
for a long time.
Yep.
It's all about the resonating crystals, the black granite crystals, the quartz crystals,
Black
the calcite
granite.
crystals. They will resonate on forever. They will not die. They will resonate on forever.
Yes, that. But no, I think it's really interesting that like we're digging deeper and deeper, and we sort of like, this Project Rainbow was some high level shit, and it was starting to come out, and it was being talked about and discussed. And I think at that point, well, what do? You shut it down.
What do you
or
do?
you just stop talking about it. And then the next time you do it, the next move you make, you're just a lot more cautious.
Yeah, hopefully a shit ton more cautious. Yeah, I mean, I'm not one to be like, yeah, test on animals, yeah. But, I mean, maybe put a different animal on that boat before putting the humans, which maybe they did.
Well,
like we've
just
all,
apples.
yeah, maybe they did.
Put
maybe
fruit.
They did. But you know what I just thought about when you said that the rainbow shit? Operation Rainbow, and then, everything that we've decided would be the best way to cloak something would be to bend light as in a prism, right? Right? So if you take it back to Pink Floyd and you try and decipher what they're talking about on Dark Side of the Moon, maybe they're talking about that cover is the refraction of knowledge, and your knowledge, what they're telling you, it's being deflected in a different direction, man. They're two different directions, man.
When you're looking at that from perspective, I think Project Sunshine, what Project Sunshine talking about nuclear explosions.
Nuclear nightfall.
Yeah. And radiation. So sunshine meaning, bright, hot explosion.
Radiation.
Or lack thereof when there's a
radiant
cloud.
sun, radiant sunshine, hot explosion. Boom,
so is it
Project
that,
Sunshine.
since the U.S. has picked such, seemingly innocent names, but they seem to be so related in deadly ways, are they doing that on purpose? Why are they naming it these, thinkingly, they think it's so symbolic and secretive, but it's man, you're telling us clearly, just like a hieroglyph would, you're telling us in picture, in metaphor, what
hidden
they're doing.
in plain sight.
No, I would say that they're creating a frilly word, and then we're just drawing a conclusion.
It's almost as frizzly as Bedazzled and Razzle Dazzle and Dazzle-Paintings. It's almost that frizzle.
I feel like
it's the whole point of I'm creating the word, knowing when they create Project Sunshine, it's there's the whole if this ever gets out, but it won't. No one knows. So by the time it gets out, people will be like, oh, Project Sunshine, that makes sense now. But no one saw Project Sunshine or Project Rainbow and was like, oh, their experiment was some crazy shit that's super unethical.
Yeah, this wasn't for a nice, good commercial. Yeah, this was for top secret memos, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
So yeah, it was for nobody's eyes. Just their sick little jokes. Sick little jokes, writing metaphoric poems to each other in the forms of cryptic death names. Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
I feel like there've been little pauses like that this episode. We're just all trying to process everything.
It's pronounced process.
I'm into it.
It's a barrage.
A barrage.
It's a barrage of shit. But
a barrage.
We talk about it. We talk about invisibility. You have the new Predator movie that just came out this weekend, and then
I heard it was good.
I hope so.
I heard it was not good.
Beckvar says it's good, man. I trust it.
Beckvar is the only person who said it was good, though. Everyone else says it was not. I love Beckvar. I love the Predator movies. I hope it's good.
I hope it's good. But then you got the Predator movies, and you got those videos surfacing online of the families that throw a blanket over their kids.
Yeah.
What?
And then they remove the blanket and pretend like the kid's invisible.
Fucking ruins a kid's life.
I've been seeing that. Yeah, it's funny to do it to a dog, though. What do you got against dogs?
Yeah, I think it's kind of cruel, dude. I don't know. With my dog, I feel like I would not be down with that.
I don't know. I mean, it's just it's peekaboo. It's just, I guess it depends on how far you carry it. I think it's very similar to the Ouija board.
Peekaboo gonna fucking disappear.
If you're the oldest cousin on the Ouija board, and you got, if you're not the youngest cousin, you're getting picked on. This is a good way to pick on somebody, man. Picking on people is not fun. This is PSA announcement. Don't pick on people.
No, I agree.
Don't be a bully.
Such a quick thing.
Don't be a bully.
So
I have a question. Would you guys rather would you rather have invisibility or flight as a superpower?
Flight. For sure. 100% flight.
Flight.
So, what about you, Johnny?
Yeah. I usually pick flight, but then I think I can be invisible and walk on a fucking plane. It's weird. 70% of women pick invisibility and 70% of men pick flight for whatever reason.
Weird.
That's such a fascinating statistic, but I got a real fascinating. I told you I'd bring it back, and I'm going to bring it back.
I don't think you think it was
now.
that fascinating. I think you just brushed
No,
off.
no, I did. I
Right.
thought it was fascinating. But
Johnny, that's cool. Fuck you. Here's my.
but no, seeing that Taylor picked flight, I picked flight.
I would pick.
And you're sort of on the fence.
Yeah.
because you already know the statistic, the hypothetical
Before I knew it.
was for $10 million.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah, I take the money.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
$10 million.
done.
I take the money.
Okay, hypothetical over. That's it. $10 million. So someone hands you $10 million and says, here's this serum, inject it in you. You're going to be invisible. You're basically going to be Casper the Friendly Ghost. You're going to be invisible for the rest of your life.
But you can't talk to people.
You can't talk to people. You can't touch people. They can't touch you. Nothing. You are invisible. The only thing you can see is yourself. You look down, you see yourself, but you are completely and utterly invisible for the rest of your life for $10 million.
You don't exist.
You do not exist, basically. Would you do it?
Wait, what would you use $10 million if you don't exist?
Is Christina Ricci in Casper?
Yeah.
That makes it tougher.
So's down south.
But money is not important when you're not there.
Yeah,
but
I would rather not be invisible. I don't think I could handle being invisible.
I would say I would
think
take
about
it.
money, though.
Oh, I think about money all the time, dude.
Exactly. My point is just, Taylor, thank you. You just proved my point. I'm saying the idea of having $10 million
is good because you can use it.
is so attractive to people that I think that actually creates an interesting hypothetical, because people instantly, you go, like, Johnny, you're great at cracking shit open like this. You go, but I can't spend the $10 million. Why would I do that? But instantly this becomes a fascinating hypothetical to people.
Because they're so drawn to the money.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. But then again, if I were to tell you that like Monopoly money could get you somewhere, you'd be like, instantly, I want it. But as soon as you know that it has no monetary value, monetary value, you would drop
the
it.
denomination placed on an item that denotes its relevance in American currency.
That was really badass. You drop it like a bad habit once you realize it had no worth. And $10 million to
to someone who can't spend it.
It has no value.
Yeah, it has zero value. Yeah.
Unless you give that value to somebody else.
But you can't, right?
I mean,
can you?
What, you can't physically touch it? I mean, you could still direct somebody like, hey, pick this. This is yours now. It was mine. I'm going to transfer this value, this cash to you.
It's only.
I mean, that's kind of cool, but it's still like, man, if you're the most kind person in the world, I guess.
Yeah.
I could definitely want my friends and family to be taken care of, but I also want to participate in it.
Well, even if you could talk and you got the $10 million, imagine some random voice being like, hey, I want to cash this $10 million, want to buy a car. They would be like, duff. That's what?
So, yeah, so no matter what, somebody else is going to be on your side here, like helping you do this.
Yeah, if I could talk, I think I'd do it. If I could talk and spend the cash.
Yeah, if I could spend the cash, it'd just be so hard. Because I think about this,
you couldn't touch anything.
Yeah, you couldn't touch anything. You couldn't be touched, and I think you would start forgetting where you are. Like, where is your body? Where's your arm? I think you would start losing the ability to, like, let's say, touch your face. You know, like we can do it with our eyes closed now, but I wonder how long. I don't know. I guess people are born blind and they do it all the time, but
like,
I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm sorry.
Well, Taylor, you brought that up. So I saw a video. It's this magician or something, and he was doing this experiment where he put a separator. He had two people. One guy put one hand on a table, and then there was a fake hand on the table.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've seen this. I've seen this kind of stuff.
There's a separator, and he's taking a brush, the magician, and just brushing both hands, and basically saying, "Tell me when you feel it in the fake hand too.
Yeah,
like when you feel like the fake hand is your hand." And so he brushed it for a little bit, and the guy felt it, and then the magician takes out a hammer and he, bam, hits the hand, and the guy freaks out, thinking that he hammered his actual hand, even though he's staring down at his fake hand.
Right.
So think about if you're invisible, eventually you're not even going to know, even if you can look down and no one can see you, you're going to think that you don't exist.
Right. Yeah.
It's all psychological. You're still going to have a brain and a mind.
Invisibility would kind of blow, but if you were able to do it on your own free will, that would be badass.
Yeah. Think about trying to squeeze in between two tight items. I mean, like anything that you have to judge where your body is, like, oh, where do I need to step, to avoid this pothole? Anything that you need to be able to see your actual body to like judge where the fuck you're at.
Then again, understand that the fact that if you were able to be airborne, the fucking government would be on your ass so quick.
Oh, if I could be flying, I'd be FDA certified, dog. I'd be flying in and out of no-fly zones. Flying everywhere, dog.
Man.
I love that. But I think that's a fascinating thing. Is like
Isn't it FFA? FDA. FFA.
FFA.
I'd be creating
the
my own
federal,
flight
FAA, Federal
flight
Aeronaut- yeah,
associations, dog.
Federal Aviation Association.
He would run it.
Yeah, dude, I'd be flying on behalf of the FDA though.
Aeronomics.
Food and
Well, I
Drug
think
Administration, dog. Because
a
I'd
lot
be
of
fed,
people-
I'd be full of liquids, and I would be administering amazing flight.
Well, a lot of people I think it was funny. Like growing up for me, I think a lot of people were talking. Like it was, Harry Potter came out, all that shit. Like magic was in movies, and it was like, oh, if only I could be invisible, that would be cool. I could do stuff, and blah 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 blah. And then it's sort of like, as you grew and as technology developed and stuff, it became a thing of the past. Like invisibility was ridiculous. It's like, okay, if I was invisible, cool, I could rob a bank. Tight, but it's become kind of like even in modern superhero movies, like invisibility is just not a superpower anymore. And I feel like it's not like invisibility became something that was so sought after, and now it's just sort of just there, and no one.
I think
cares
it's like a
about
less
it.
creative superpower, so it's not like that. Wow, it's like, oh, and I'm invisible. It's not like the be all superpower, I guess, but I think it would definitely be something to strive for. I mean, it would probably just the ability to make something invisible, not by using bending light around it, but like to truly make something not visible, like to light and shit, like not in this 3D plane, would mean that we were understanding a new level of physics, I guess, in some way. Like we've found something new at that point, which I think, I don't know, is still tight to think about.
What's so dangerous, and like this is the first time I've been a proponent for cloning. I think the concept of cloning is very fascinating. I think it's super unique, and I know it's unethical. I get that, but I have sort of been a supporter of that. I think it's neat, and I think it can help people. But this is the first time talking about invisibility and stuff that I have actually doubted these things, and I think the idea of cloaking or invisibility, I think it's such a dangerous thing that if it were to get into someone else's hands, because let's be honest, the only thing it could be beneficial for is for our government to use it and our military to use it. That's the only beneficial side to it.
What about you and McGregor in that movie where you can clone yourself and have your own organs?
No. I'm talking about invisibility. I'm not talking about cloning. I use cloning as a segue to unethical.
I don't know. What if there were ways to build structures and have them be invisible somehow, but somehow have the faces of these structures able to collect sunlight and like solar power in some way? But since these structures are all invisible, it is kind of like you'd have to give it credit here. Either it would have a shit ton more surface area because it's a shit ton of stuff built on top of each other that are all invisible surfaces, but each one of those invisible surfaces could still harness solar power. That could be like a solar power machine, right? That'd be cool.
I think it's still super dangerous because just because you're deeming something invisible doesn't mean something can pass through it. So it's still just a cloaking device.
I guess that would be dangerous. So I think if you're making shit like planes could hit and
that's what I think.
Even power lines. This is a big thing in British Columbia, Vancouver, because they have all these power lines in between all these mountains and in between the city, and they have to put these huge. You guys have seen these huge balloons, these red, orange, and yellow balls on them, so pilots can see them. And those are their lines. They can see these lines, but they're maybe a half a foot in diameter, and therefore they need something on there. Imagine something that's completely invisible that is hundreds of feet tall. But then again, if people were inside of it, you could probably see the people. Right.
I did see one explanation where there was a theory where it could improve radio communications because, let's say, line of sight radios, where it's going from tower to tower. I guess it gets to the tower and it has to do something at the tower. I saw, and then it continues on to another tower. I saw some explanation where if there was the same way, like a cloaking device that bends light, around said pole, then it'd almost be like it'd be going around the pole, but it'd still be a straight shot, and it would somehow make it easier and better for radio communications. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but
I don't know. I kind of agree
Kinda
with you
makes
on this
sense in
one.
my
I
head.
don't think there's a lot of applicable things besides government reasons.
That-
I think
and
there are
I'm
things.
trying to-
Yeah.
I'm
not
trying to
as
think.
much.
And I think too. I think that I think the idea of cloaking a human being or anything else, I think it would create just a disaster. Like I think people, even if it was harmless out of curiosity, I think if people were like, "Oh, I'm going to cloak my car," they get in their car, boom, we have accidents. We have car.
Well, it's
accidents.
like okay, we need to limit the square footage of windows on our houses because like birds fly into them and die. You know,
right?
But,
It's kinda
there'd
like,
be so many
where's
more
that line?
assassins. There would be like imagine this in the wrong hands, like a cloaking device. Like ninjas were a huge problem back in like the Qin Dynasty.
Ninjas have
Imagine
always been a
fucking
big
person-
problem. They were a big problem in the '90s.
You're right, but imagine a person that's actually
Especially in
invisible.
Beverly Hills.
You could kill anybody, no matter what.
Ah, Martin Tanley. Yeah, with some katanas and shit.
Anything, dude. If I was invisible, I could kill you with like a
But
pencil.
ninjas were invisible. Yeah, I mean,
Not really.
Outside
but
of
think
mine.
about.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be
physically.
dangerous as hell. Dangerous as hell, but I don't. Still, like, it would still be creating shadows. You still see it like a predator, so it wouldn't be like perfectly secret. But think about it practical use in like a house, man. You could make a whole wall out of this shit, and it'd be a nice walled structure,
Okay.
and it's
so,
like a skylight.
there's still an infrastructure there,
Badass
but you
window.
can still like
Better than a
reap the
window.
benefits of having exactly. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah, but
See, I
then
think
imagine,
You'd have more dead
imagine,
birds at
structurally-
that point.
imagine
but
how many fucking times your dog would run into that.
your
My-
dog
my-
would run into it. I would
Yeah.
run into it every now and again.
I see videos of drunk guys at bachelor parties running into sliding doors and breaking that shit. Imagine it's a fucking wall. Like, dude,
Well,
I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, well, at that point, we're going to have like smart houses and shit, and we're all going to have smart contacts. So we put the smart contact in, and it's programmed to whatever we want to see, and it's telling us our user layout. So you get so close to this invisible wall window, and it's like, "Beep, beep, beep, beep," and you just see the warning
Back
in your eye.
up.
You see the boundary flash up in your eye, you know?
You guys,
Yeah.
in the cockpit on almost every
It's a
single jet.
cockpit.
Well, okay. Anyways, in the cockpit on almost every single airliner, when you're at a nosedive and your trajectory is gonna hit the ground, the command is pull up, pull up. That's it.
Pull
It's
up.
like ah!
What do you want me to pull up? I'm
Yeah,
pulling up. I
exactly.
can't pull up any farther.
It's such a calm. Like imagine like you're
How does one pull up?
the yoke? You pull the basically the steering wheel
Like-
of the plane.
Bro,
Oh,
do
you
you
like-
even
you
deadlift,
pull up.
bro?
Yeah, you pull up. That's literally the
Oh, I
command
mean,
is
it's
like
a simple thing. If it's like grab the right controller
Yeah.
and flip the switch, flip two switches to the left,
but it's
pull
so
the
calm. I'm
throttle it a little bit, then put the brake on, pull the brake back, and then throttle some more, flip two more switches.
lateral, pitch, engage. Blow up, you died.
Call someone else.
phone a friend. Aw.
That's wild.
Well,
I feel like that's
what-
such a
Wild and crazy.
interesting topic. Invisibility. I feel like it's like I said, it's something that I think was talked about a lot when I was growing up, and then it just sort of went away. We don't talk about it much anymore. I mean, I guess in that Ant-Man and the Wasp movie, the villain had a cloaking device, so she was robbing banks and shit.
Violet does in Incredibles 2.
Yeah, but that's an animated movie.
Nightcrawlers
That's
does
so-
in X-Men, the video game on Sega. Fucking dope game.
Isn't that his whole entire power?
Yeah, I guess that's his whole power in general. But he had
Not just
cool
the Sega
moves, I
video
guess,
game?
because you could like teleport like right in front of somebody and kick them in the face and get out of there real fast. It was tight. That was a satisfying video game for a Sega game.
Man, I love Sega.
Sega.
Man, I love you guys.
Sega.
Remember, I used to play it at the orthodontist office. I used to have braces because I was a bum, and my teeth still look like garbage.
You
But
didn't take care of them,
they had like the big Sega, like it was just a TV with a Sega system, but it was like preloaded with 20 games or so, and X-Men was
We had a
one of them.
fucking
It was dope.
Pelican, or not pelican. We had a big toucan. What the fucking thing is called? Those huge ass birds in my orthodontist office. There was no video games.
Like a real
Just, like,
bird?
watch. Oh, like a huge. Oh, it's not a toucan.
Talking about parrot?
It's a, dude, I
Parakeet?
don't know. It's a huge bird.
A dog
And that's-
bird.
I don't know. Yeah, right. Anyway, it's a Tyrannosaurus
A
Rex.
crane?
No, it's very colorful. It's some kind of tropical bird. I don't know.
Dude, we have some
Some
hawks
kind
out
of,
here, man. We every year around this time, the hawks start coming around, And 2 years ago, we had like the 3 giant hawks that kept hanging out in my backyard. All the other birds like left for the whole season. All the squirrels were gone. Just these 3 hawks. No other birds were coming around, so I took it upon myself. I started cutting up some steaks and feeding them steaks, and they would come up and eat them, dude. It was fucking tight. Little
were the bird
strips
whisperer.
of New York strip.
Nature man.
Nature
That's
man.
impressive.
It was fun.
Next we know these birds are trying to eat cows.
They're gonna come back when the season's right, and they're gonna just be waiting for you.
Oh, they're out. They're out there already. The hawks are crazy because they. Like I said, I live on the power lines, so we have this long system of power lines where wildlife can go up and down the power lines. So we see a deer up there all the time. We see the hawks coming and going. It's just
Since
really
they're not
cool.
grounded.
It's really cool. I just love getting out there in nature and just being one with the world there.
Taylor, I just want to say thank you.
Oh, hey, thank you. What are you thanking me for, though?
I'm thanking you for a great episode.
Well, thank you for a great episode. And thank you, Johnny. Together, we make great episodes, and together, we make greater episodes.
What? Thank both of you.
All right.
All right.
Well,
a big thanks to Taylor Nelson for writing a fantastic episode today, talking about a topic that
tickled my pickle.
Tickled both of our pickles.
It tickles pickles. To be clear, I didn't tickle anybody's pickle.
True.
To be clear.
I want to shout out quickly. I know we already did this. I'm not part of the promos or the ads. I want to shout out to our sponsor, Death Wish Coffee. I don't know if I've ever been as caffeinated or as hype as I was in like the first half of this episode.
He's very hype.
I drink all the coffee real
He's
fast.
very hype. And then a big shout out to Future Monsters. Thanks to these 2 sponsors, guys. This is
Hell
26 episodes. We have gone this far and still had Future Monsters since the very beginning. They've been great. We're grateful.
Very
and
beginning.
Death Wish, a new sponsor, new friends. Big shout out to Jeff and Dustin over at the Death Wish Fueled by Deathcast, which is fantastic. You guys should check that out. Also, I just want to shout out the amazing listeners who have been there since the beginning. We're still growing. We still have more growth to come. And I'm excited about it because you guys are going to be and have been so patient with our growth and with this exploration across social medias, across a brand new platform for the 3 of us. And we're having a damn good time. I'm having a good time.
I'm having a great time.
I'm having a great time. I'm ready to take this little satchel of beans that we got and let's plant them and let's grow this beanstalk and let's fucking grow these magic beans.
We have so much more stuff for you guys. We're just going to ride it out. We're going to keep on chipping away till we get to episode 30. And once we get there, we're just going to see where the train takes us
I
afterwards.
said we just keep chipping at it after that.
We keep chipping at it. We have some cool content that's ready to be prepped. But unfortunately, to get to that content, we need some help over at Patreon. That's patreon.com/Hybrothetical Thinking. In the meantime, you can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/Hybrothetical Thinking and Instagram at Hybrothetical Thinking. And then you can visit us on the web at hybrotheticalthinking.com. We have a cool little subscription list. You can sign up to that. When we build enough, we'll send a fun little email, weekly email that could be neat. We're on YouTube. We're all over the web. We're easy to find. Feel free to spread the word. Guys, feel free to let us know what you want more of or what you want less of because we're listening. We're engaging. We're reading. And we're posting all sorts of stuff. We're going to start doing giveaways soon. I'm really excited about that. We're going to do giveaways on Instagram and Facebook, so keep an eye open for that. And you guys can win some free shit.
I swear to God, all of that was in one take. Nick did not redo any of that. It was all he just did it without any change. So shout out to Nick for saying all that shit without redo.
I mean, we've been doing this for 26 weeks.
Yeah, you got a point. But that was a lot of stuff.
It was. And then last but not least, I want to thank Taylor Nelson again.
Damn.
And I want to thank Johnny Clark.
You're welcome, man. Thank you.
This is special. And I love it. I don't take it for granted one bit, and I love doing this. And
Dude, it's been so much fun.
It's a hobby, and it's kind of turned into a passion, and I appreciate it. And I wouldn't be doing it without you guys.
I'm gonna cry.
It's our 26th anniversary, guys. Anniversary number 26.
Whew. Oh man.
26.
Oh, I got a little chilly there.
That little tingle is from Death Wish Coffee.
I think out of all the things that I know of that are number 26, I'd say this is my favorite so far.
Are my eyes glassy?
A little glassy.
Glossy.
That shit hit me right
It's
in the
not hard
feels.
to make Johnny cry.
It's
And it's not hard to make Johnny hard.
Oh, whoa!
Whoa, wait. I didn't mean to say, I meant to say.
It's not cry
It's not-
to make Johnny hard.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, exactly. Tears, hard tears that you cry. It's like when you watch Titanic. It doesn't matter. Guys, thank you so much.
Don't agree
I
with any of that
appreciate it.
shit.
I have and always will be Nick.
I have been Tayloris Nelsonian Maximus.
No matter how they perceive me, I'm Johnny Clark.
And we love him, and we love him for that. We'll still love him even when we hate him. Guys, thanks so much. We'll see you and feel you and hear you next week.